Hey, look, right here, right next to this big tree sitting next to me. There's a little garter snake sitting there, and he's just relying on his camouflage right now. I mean, I'm standing no less than 4 foot away from him, and he's completely just frozen, completely still. We're gonna grab a hold of him. He's gonna be kind of crabby, but kind of want to talk about him. He's a pretty nice colored one, right here. Come here. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. I'm gonna get the musk. Ow! He's biting too. All right. Come here. Look at that. Little garter snake. Not a real big one. I mean, this is, you know, they get bigger than this. They get a lot thicker than this, actually. Usually they're kind of thin, but I found ones that were thick. I mean, seriously thick. It's a pretty good size one, though. Nice colors, too. Look at those lines on them. Those are really pretty. He's got the kind of pale yellowish, and it's a little more bright when they're young. These guys have live babies, actually, so, you know, they're born, I mean, not quite like mammals, but, you know, same sort of a deal. They don't lay eggs, and they have those real bright colors on them. And actually, sometimes they have a little bit of red on him. This guy doesn't have any red on him at all. But he's got the real pretty yellow lines that run down his back, and then the darker black, you know, lines, the lines that run along it. And he's kind of in a bad mood. These snakes are, I mean, ow, don't bite. Ouch. These snakes usually are pretty cranky when you first find them. I've been bit in the face by them before by doing exactly that. Look at that. Look at that's a bad attitude. But they calm down pretty quick. I mean, if I were to sit here and handle him for, you know, 5 or 6 minutes, he probably would completely ditch biting. He's, you know, they calm down very quick. It's just right when you grab them that they kind of have that bad attitude. I think way worse than the bite, these guys have another defensive mechanism they use, just like the water snakes and just like the cottonmouths and the copperheads do it too. They have musk that they secrete from a gland down here by their cloaca, and it's some foul-smelling stuff. It's pretty nasty. I mean, it's very distinct. I mean, I can always tell snake musk. You know, it actually kind of makes me happy to smell it because I'm so used to catching snakes. I kind of associate it with catching snakes. This guy's just trying to bite me in the face over and over here. He's pretty cool though. It's nice. You can tell he's not a ribbon snake. A ribbon snake looks a lot like this, but the ribbon snake's generally a lot thinner. They're more like a ribbon, I guess. And the ribbon snake actually, I know I've said it before, but the ribbon snake, hold your head still for a second, has some dots on his forehead here. And that's kind of how you tell the difference. Oh, he's flicking that tongue back and forth. Just tasting the air. He's cool, isn't he? Look at that. That's a cool snake. Woo! That's what we get for putting our faces too close to snakes, right? He's got keeled scales. You can see if you look real closely. His scales are actually pretty heavily keeled, and you know, unlike the black rat snake we looked at before, he's got, they almost look like smooth scales, but they have a real fine keel that run down them. Man, get this guy away from your face. This guy's got pretty heavily keeled snakes, a lot more like the rattlesnake we saw and stuff. Are you looking at me? You give me a mean look? I see that. He does the same thing, you know, the water snakes do. He flattens the head out here, so, you know, it makes him look bigger. These guys will rattle their tail in the leaves, and if he's in dry leaves, it'll actually sound like a rattlesnake a little bit. So, you know, they got several defensive techniques they can throw at you to try to deter you from messing with them. Stay away from my face. But he's pretty cool. This is a good size one. It's good colors. I'm happy we got to see him. He's just kind of hanging out in the woods here. You know, this is a very, very common snake here in Illinois. I see them all the time. You know, when I was a kid, this is what we always would catch. It was always garter snakes because these are in people's yards, you know, sheds. They like sheds a lot because their diet consists of almost anything, literally. I mean, this guy, I swear, calm down. These guys literally eat almost anything. They're one of the few snakes that'll eat toads. Toads have, you know, they've got like the poison sacs in the backs of their neck, and almost nothing will eat toads. These guys and the hognose snakes love toads, though. So this guy is pretty much found just, you know, throughout their range. They're very common, and they're found, you know, a lot of common places like people's yards. And it actually leads to the mistaken identity. People call them the garden snake sometimes. It's not garden snake, despite the fact they are in people's gardens a lot. It's called the Garter Snake because the name came from back when these reptiles were being named, you know, a long time ago. Women's garters had similar colors to what the snake is, so they called it the Garter Snake. He's It's funny, he's not trying to bite my hand. I'm grabbing all over him, but the second my face comes anywhere near him, he's quick to bite it. And he's nice. Nice color eyes, nice color body. Everything's very beautiful about this snake. Looks like, geez, that's hard to tell. You can look at their tail length a little bit. If you know a little bit about snakes, you can usually tell male or female by the tail length. You know, that's his tail right there. But boy, that's hard to tell. I want to, if I don't have a snake to compare it to that I know the gender of, then it's pretty tough going. But it looks kind of like a female to me, because it's not a very thick tail, and it tapers off pretty quick, you know. So I would say it's a female, but that's totally speculation. I mean, it could end up being a male. It's happened before. So we're gonna put him back in the woods here, let him get back to cruising around. But I just want to show you guys how cool this guy looks. It's very pretty colors, and he's got kind of a bad attitude. Don't bite me in the face. He's got kind of a bad attitude, but you know, that's expected. I grabbed him up out of the woods. He was just hanging out here by himself, and you know, I came and harassed him. So we're gonna put him back.